welcome back. My name is Corinne Phillips and this is Fresh Pea Cooks. Today I want to show you how to make my favorite protein shake. A recipe that was inspired by the Portland Juice Company. They have a seasonal plant-based milk, generally a nut-based milk. And this past fall they had one that was cashew-based with carrot and spices. It was so yummy that I immediately came home and recreated it in the kitchen. And so today I'm going to share that recipe with you. I know it's one of those things, I've even done a video on how obsessed we are with protein and how we really don't need as much as we think we might. So this seems a little bit counterintuitive, but when you're a vegetarian, and I don't really self-identify as a vegetarian, I often say I'm a vegetarian because it's the label that most quickly and easily encompasses how I eat, but it isn't actually accurate. If I go fishing with you and we catch a fish, I will eat that fish. I'm a plant-based eater. Having said that, being somebody that eats plants, the one question I get over and over again is, how do you get your protein? Where do you get your protein? If you don't eat dairy, if you don't eat meat, what's left, right? And what most people don't realize is there is protein in almost all of our natural whole foods. Plants have protein, nearly all of them. This carrot has protein. This carrot has almost 1 gram of protein. Now, I looked up and printed out a list of the protein for our protein shake here. Cashews. A half a cup of cashews has 15 grams of protein. This is a little over a half a cup, so I'm going to guesstimate about 17 grams of protein. Our carrot here has almost 1 gram of protein, 0.7. Our spices, now when I say spices, I really mean pumpkin spice. 0.3. So together, 1 gram of protein. Honey. If we use 2 tablespoons of honey, and I like 3, it's 0.2 grams. So a little over 0.2 grams. If you would prefer to use dates and sweeten your shake with dates, 5 whole dates has 1 gram of protein. If you have a nut allergy and you don't want to use nuts, the meat from 1 medium-sized coconut has 13 grams of protein. And coconut makes a wonderful alternative to nuts in smoothies. This whole shake has almost 20 grams of protein. And there's no protein powder, which is highly refined. Oftentimes it comes from dairy base or soy base. And a lot of times, unless you're getting organic, you just don't know the origin of those products. And this is just one example of how a whole foods, plant-based diet will more than meet your protein requirements for a day. So this particular milk, I find it so fabulously delicious that it only lasts in the fridge a day or so. I end up just swilling down the whole thing. It's one of those really wonderful, I'm not in the mood for a meal, I don't want to stop, I don't want to leave my editing, whatever I'm doing, and I just need something that's satisfying. This is what I go to, and it couldn't be easier. And for those of you that follow me on Facebook, no, I have a disdain, an irrational disdain for all things pumpkin spice, because most of the time they don't have any pumpkin at all. Yes, there is spices. Well, this doesn't have pumpkin, it has carrot, and it has cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. But if you would prefer, if it's easier, you can just use a big old scoop of pumpkin spice. For those of you who are plant-based, you know that raw cashews are kind of nature's perfect cream substitute. When you blend them with water, they turn into this fabulous thick, rich cream. And if you cook it, it actually thickens with heat. So it makes a wonderful cream substitute for soups. So I'm going to just pour my cashews, a little splash of vanilla. This is totally optional, but I like it. And 3 cups of water. I might as well throw the spices in. Our spices, our carrot, a small pinch of salt, and again, if you'd rather use dates or maple syrup to sweeten your shake with, you absolutely can. I raise honeybees, and so I use honey a lot. If you like your beverages cold and you want to drink it right away, just throw in a handful of ice cubes at the end of the blending cycle. I'm going to let this blend for almost a minute. Now this is a really high-speed blender. So if you have just a normal blender, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. And if it's still too pulpy from that carrot, you can go ahead and strain it because a lot of that juice will have been extracted in the blending. This blender does such a fine job that the carrot actually just thickens it rather than leaves a pulp or a residue. Now, before you pour this into your little pitcher, give it a taste because we all have different sweet thresholds. I have the lowest blood pressure you can have before you go hypotensive. And so people generally with really low blood pressure crave salt. And so my food's always just a little bit saltier because that's my preference than what Glenn would like. Now, this isn't just a protein shake, which is really beautiful. I drink it. It's kind of reminiscent because of the pumpkin spice. It reminds me of a chai, like a cold chai. But what I do the most with this milk, and I almost always have it on hand, is I use this as my creamy substance in my steel cut oats. I'll shred a carrot into the pan as they're cooking, and I will pour probably a cup to a cup and a half of this. It provides the spice, it provides the creaminess, it thickens it and makes it really rich and delicious and completely dairy-free. So when and if you choose to integrate more plants into your diet, there's a million creative approaches that you can take, and there's so many people that do it so beautifully well. One of my favorites is Sarah B. from mynewroots.org. Not only is she stunning, her food is stunning, her knowledge is comprehensive, her cooking skills are spot on, and her recipe development is fabulous. There's so many wonderful websites that have a really fresh and innovative approach to plant-based cuisine. And I'll put some links below this video so you guys can go down there and find some new inspiration. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching and your support of the channel. Some of you have noticed that I started doing end cards. And what it is, it's a way for me to highlight videos, recipes, answer subscribers' questions, and give you just little cooking tips and tricks that makes your time in the kitchen more inspired. But in order to do that, I need your help. I need your questions. So if you guys have questions about plant-based diets, about cooking techniques, about storage, cleaning, any of that kind of kitchen-y type wellness stuff, leave them in the comments below, and I'm going to do my best to answer the questions on an ongoing basis, and they'll be at the end of the videos. So if you have a question, more than likely other people have the same question, and I do my best to answer all your questions, but I think a lot of these questions would really benefit the community at large because I get them over and over again. So that's just a really easy, fun, and informative way that we can engage with one another. So thanks for that, and I'll see you guys next time. just when you've had your fill of pumpkin spiced everything, here I am. Pumpkin spiced protein shake. Is it relevant? Is it meaningful? Is it kind? Does it matter? No. Okay. Today I want to share with you my recipe for, ready for this, Skip? Pumpkin spiced protein milk. Gosh darn it.